BetterCT.com.
You might remember her from Clarissa Explains It All, or Sabrina the Teenage Witch, or maybe on her new hit show, Melissa and Joey.
Melissa Joan Hart actually lives right here in Connecticut, and she's out with a new book. And Melissa Explains It All is the title. Our better buddy, Melissa Cole. The two Melissas got a chance to sit down and talk.
It's a lot of Melissas. Take a look.
Hi everybody, we are so excited to be here with Melissa Joan Hart. Hello.
Hi.
And we're talking about her brand new book, Melissa Explains It All. But before we get to the book, a lot of people might not know that you actually live right here in Connecticut.
I do. I live
Westport?
locally, yes, in Westport.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And you have 3 little boys.
Yes.
And how old are they now?
1, 5, and 7.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're busy.
Very busy. I'm like sleep deprived and running on caffeine.
Like all of us,
Yeah.
Exactly. So now when you tape your show, Melissa and Joey, that's in California.
Yes. I
So
go back and forth, so I've been taking some red eyes recently to
Really?
come home. Because, you know, the schools here are so much better, so I like to leave the boys in school here as much as possible. And
Okay.
my husband stays here with them, and right now, actually, we're leaving to go back to California later this week. So,
Wow.
doing a little book tour, and then we head back to California as a family to be together for a few months before we get to
nice.
come back here and finish up the school year.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
Now,
It's busy. It's crazy. Like we have actually there's a chapter in here called The Traveling Circus, so that's us.
That's what you guys
That's
are,
us.
the traveling circus. Now, what's the biggest difference between West Coast, East Coast?
Well, the weather is a big thing. We actually moved to the East Coast partially because we miss seasons. We miss the fall, the spring, and especially the winter snow. So I know everyone here is always complaining and so sick of it, and I'm like,
Right.
stop complaining. If you lived in LA, it'd be like Groundhog Day every day, 70 and sunny.
Really? That's how it is all the time?
It gets a little boring, I have to say. You know, you look in the mirror one day and you're like, oh, I've aged 10 years, and it doesn't seem like a day's gone by because it's been all the same.
Right. So you can have the holidays here on the East Coast and enjoy the snow in the winter.
Yes, we love the snow, and we love I mean, right now, like the fall, just being able to come home right now has been such a blessing because get to, you know, smell the leaves and all that.
See the colors. It
Yeah,
is
and we
beautiful.
carved pumpkins yesterday and all that.
Oh, that's really nice. All right, so back to the book.
Yeah.
Melissa Explains It All, a take on Clarissa Explains It All,
Yep.
which
It was
my favorite show.
It was the only name I could give this book, really. It was just the perfect title, so.
And I think people may be a little shocked to read some of the things that are inside. I just picked it up a few minutes ago and started reading it already, but there are some things in there.
It is a little shocking. There's been some press about that, and you know, it's just stories I've always told my friends, and so I felt like, you know, I was pregnant last year and not able to work on camera, so it was a good time for me to sit down and do this, and it took a lot longer than I ever expected. Writing a book is so much more complicated than I ever imagined.
Right.
But it was really interesting just going through the chapters. You know, I go sequentially through my life, so starting off with, you know, my family life and growing up and starting in the business and working at a young age, and then you know, the work ethic I learned from my family, and then getting into my theater experience, and then Clarissa days, and then Sabrina days, and while during Sabrina days, dating and on-screen kisses, and you know, being a little boy crazy, and then eventually, and some of my parties and whatnot, and then it's like meeting my husband, and then having children, and then moving to the East Coast and all that. So it goes through sequentially.
And I love how you wrote in the beginning of the book to your 3 boys who gave you your favorite role yet, which is mom.
Yes, I put that on my Twitter when I first started my Twitter, and I don't know, it just kind of describes, you know, me perfectly, like what they mean to me. So
That's beautiful.
We're going to have much more with Melissa Joan Hart tomorrow on Better. She's going to talk to Melissa about being a child star and how she managed to stay on the right path, because so many of them don't.
I know.
Very sweet.
Some of the best pizza in Connecticut can be found at Frank's Pepe Pizzeria.
Oh my gosh.
They're actually
here.
in the house next.
Royalty is here.
We'll be right back.
Melissa Cole met up with Melissa Joan Hart, who lives here in Connecticut, and she has a new book out called Melissa Explains It All.
All right, let's take a look at the second part of our interview.
Do any of them have an interest in maybe getting into the business?
The oldest one, Mason, has been showing a few signs of wanting to do that, so it's been tricky. You know, kind of walking that fine line with him of, do we let him yet, or neither of us have the time or patience to take him on auditions.
Right.
It's a very difficult, and the rejection takes a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot of rejection. It takes a thick skin. He's in 2nd grade right now, which is a sensitive age.
Right.
So it's a little tricky right now, but I think he'll probably end up doing something.
You think?
Although I prefer it to be music, even though I think music might be tougher. I don't know.
Okay. Now, you know, talking about some child stars, that, you know, were our ages or even a little bit younger, sort of taking, you know, a difficult path right now in the media and things going a little bit wrong for them. What do you think it is? Like, how did you get out of it just fine?
Well, that's kind of why I wrote the book, because so many people have been asking me, you know, how did you end up normal? And so that's why the subtitle is Tales from My Abnormally Normal Life. So it's, you know, it's kind of, I don't know the recipe for it, but like, this explains a little bit of where I come from. Everything from my genetics and how I was raised and the kind of person I've become. And I feel like this is the best way to explain it to everyone else. You know, and sort of the road I took. So, you know, it's not the same for everybody, but in Hollywood you have a lot of creative personalities and you have a lot of rejection, and a lot of people turn to the wrong things for escape from that. And for me, I just never took it personally. You know, I never took the compliments that well, which also means I didn't take the rejection. You know, I can leave all of that behind and just, you know, there's a few people I lean on for real support and to know. And I say, and here, the people I've chosen as friends, my husband, my mom, my sisters, they're very difficult to please. So to please them takes a lot, and that means if I do get a compliment from them, it means I've worked really hard for it. So those are the ones I really look for, you know. But I do have a job where everyone's like, you're so talented, you're so funny, that was so great, you look so great in that dress. Not a lot of people get that at work, so I had to be able to be like, you know what, I'm just doing my job.
Right.
It's not, a lot of it sounds like BS a little bit to me, so you know, there's a few people that I really take it.
That's good.
Run
so
with.
always having a good support system is really like the backbone.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. It's good advice there. Interesting. So everybody wants to know if you and Joey are going to get together on the show. You probably can't say, but any
We're
hints?
about 3 episodes in now into the new season, but it's pretty interesting. The first 3 episodes are pretty interesting.
That's a good teaser. All right. And the book is available now, so pick it up at your local bookstore.
Yep.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Apologize. I was supposed to set the story up a little bit better.
That's okay, but I love how Melissa said yesterday that her 3 boys gave her the best role of her life, being a mom.
All right, and she was asking if the boys had any interest in going into Hollywood. She's just a fascinating woman, and she lives right here in Connecticut.
Yeah, and there's also a great event coming up this weekend.
What is it?
We're raising money to help honor our heroes.
I did this at Fred Astaire Studios in Middletown. They're wonderful people. They're going to be coming up they're going to try and teach us how to dance, Kara.
Okay.
Stay with us.